Okay, so if you can swim 20 meters in 1 minute, how far can you swim in 5 minutes? Right, you think about that, it's 100, isn't it? Because you went 20 meters per minute times 5 minutes, and you got 100. So let's write that down. It was 20 times 5 equals 100, where the first part was the meters per minute, and the second part was the number of minutes. So on the second one, if we did it for 10 minutes, how far could you swim? Right, you would go 20 times 10, and you would get 200. And if you swam for 20 minutes, you would go 20 times 20 minutes, and you would get 400. Now what about if you did it for X minutes? X minutes means that you don't know how many minutes, or it could be any number of minutes. So if it could apply to 100 minutes, or 80 minutes, or 15 minutes, or whatever. It's just a letter that represents any number. So what if you had to swim for X minutes? Right, it would still be 20 times the number of minutes, and 20 times X is 20X. Congratulations, you've just created an algebraic expression. Now, an algebraic expression, right here, is a mathematical phrase with at least one variable. And what's a variable? A variable is a symbol that represents one or more numbers, and a variable is usually a letter like A or B or Z, and most often is an X. It's the one that we use most of the time. But you can use any of the letters. Now, what's the difference between an algebraic expression and an arithmetic or arithmetic expression? So you're used to 6 plus 3, and when you simplify that, you get 9. That's an arithmetic expression, an arithmetic expression. When you replace the 3 with an X, you've got an algebraic expression. So 6 plus X is an algebraic expression, because it contains something that you don't know what it is. 5 minus n is an algebraic expression. 5n, which means 5 times n plus 5, n over 5, which is n divided by 5, 2n minus 5, all these are algebraic expressions. Now, let's write an algebraic expression for each one of these word phrases that we're going to be seeing. Now think about this, running m meters per minute for 3 minutes. Right, that would be 3 minutes times the number of meters per minute, which would be 3m. The key word here was the per. Per will be something that indicates to you multiplication. 12 heartbeats more than X heartbeats. The key word here is more. When you think of the operations of multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, which one do you think of that indicates more? Right, that would be the addition symbol. So this would be 12 plus X. The Environmental Club is making posters. The materials for each poster cost $4. Write an algebraic expression for the cost of P posters. Now think about this. If anything is ever confusing to you, you go back to a real-world situation. If, for example, you were buying candy bars, and each candy bar costs $1, and you bought 5, what would be the cost? It would be $5, because you would go 5 times 1. So that involves multiplication. So when we write an algebraic expression for this one, it says the materials for each poster cost $4. And how many posters are we going to do? P posters. So that means this is going to be 4 times P. 9 students will hang T posters each. Write an algebraic expression for the total number of posters the students will hang. Well, we've got 9 students. Key word here is each. Each is a good indicator that the operation that will be involved will be multiplication. So we go 9 times t. Or you could write 9 times t or 9 times t. We do not want to write 9 times t like this because, remember, in algebra we're using variables, and this x is a variable, so we do not want to use x anymore. We want to use these other methods of indicating that we have multiplication. A 9 up against the parentheses, a number up against the parentheses, or numbers with a dot in between that indicates multiplication, or when they're a number and a letter, or a letter and a letter are up against each other, that means multiplication. Okay, now, those same 9 students will hang T posters each, and then together they will hang 2 more posters. Write an algebraic expression for the total number of posters the students will hang. Well, the same as we did the last time. 9 students will hang T posters, and that's how many posters the 9 students hung. But it says together they will hang 2 more. 2 more, remember the word more indicated the operation of addition, so 2 more would be 9t plus 2. Now let's change these word expressions into algebraic expressions. 6 less than d dollars. I'm going to leave that one for last because I want to show you something about the way the rest of them are set up. The sum of S students and 9 students. Sum indicates addition, so we put our addition symbol. S students and 9 students. Okay, 12 times B boxes. Let me make that a better circle right there. 12 times B boxes, or 12B. And then 20 books divided by S students. It's so hard to make an S not look like a 5. So I very seldom use an S whenever I'm doing my variables. But the one reason I wanted to show you these first was that the sum of S and 9 students. 12 times B boxes. 20 books divided by S students. All of them were written in the order that you read them. Now, the one you have the word less than in there, whenever you're dealing with subtraction, a lot of times you have to do it backwards from what you're used to doing it. So, think about this. If you're doing 6 less than 10, what would the answer be? Right, it would be 4. But the way you write it is you would go 10 minus 6 equals 4. This is 6 less than 10. So if you're writing 6 less than D dollars, it would be 6 less than D dollars. So be very careful when you're dealing with the less than, because it's the one that's written a little bit different. Now practice on what we just learned. 2 less than a number. How would you write that? Right, it's 2 less than a number, n, or it could be b or c, whatever you want it to be, but number, n. All right, the last one, the difference between a number and 7. The difference indicates subtraction, a number, and 7. Now, a little bit longer one. Let's try to put it into an algebraic expression. The cost of a package of markers is D dollars. Write an algebraic expression for the total cost in dollars of 7 packages. So if one package costs $1, and you want to know how much 7 packages cost, you would say $7, because you would go 7 times 1. No different here. It would be 7 times D, the cost of each package. Or you could write, once again, 7D like that. You can also translate algebraic expressions into word phrases. For example, x plus 2. That can be a number plus 2. It can be a number increased by 2. It could be 2 more than a number. Or it could be the sum of a number and 2. So there are many ways that you can translate an algebraic expression into a word phrase. So let's look at this one. What about d minus 5? What could that be? Yes, it could be 5 less than a number. It could be a number decreased by 5. What about 5n? That could be the product of 5 and a number. It could be a number multiplied by 5. It could be 5 times the number of miles that you rode in one day. So welcome to Algebraic Expressions. I hope that you enjoy your transition from arithmetic into algebra, where we deal with the unknown.